What if this feeling of being lost is not an error in your path, but the path itself calling out to you? There is an ancient soul within you, the soul of the wanderer, who roams not by accident, but because it has been summoned off the known maps into a territory that only the heart can navigate. You recognize this call in that silent restlessness that prevents you from feeling at home in the world, even when everything seems to be in its right place. It is a feeling that isolates you, but also makes you special, because it means that your soul refuses to accept a reality lesser than the one it was born for. The great explorer of the human psyche, Carl Jung, realized something fundamental about us. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. The world we live in was built on this premise, creating an infinite labyrinth of noise and distractions to ensure that you never have to be silent long enough to hear your own truth. You were taught to look for answers everywhere, except in the one place where they truly reside, within yourself. This incessant search outside, while your inside is neglected, generates what we can call a spiritual amnesia, a painful disconnection from your internal compass. That is why the word lost needs to be felt in a new way. It is not about being without a map, as the world's maps rarely lead to the soul's destination. It is about being in vibrational misalignment with your sacred timeline, that flow of life that your spirit chose and that resonates with your purest essence. When this disconnection happens, life loses its color, direction fades, and a deep confusion settles in, not in your mind, but in your energy. Your soul, then, begins to send signals, not as cries of alarm, but as whispers, as feathers that touch your shoulder in the hope that you will finally stop to feel. So, take a deep breath for a moment and consider this. What if this confusion that torments you, this fog that seems to have no end, is in fact the portal to your own initiation? And what if the pain of feeling lost is the first step to being found by your true essence? In this journey we will take together, we will learn to decode the 5 hidden signs that your soul has been desperately trying to show you. Signs that your rational mind has been trained to ignore, but that your heart now is finally ready to listen to. There is a kind of silence that has been growing within you, and it is important that you recognize it, because it is not peace. True peace is full, it is vibrant, it is a state of serene presence where life calmly pulses. The silence we are talking about is different. It is the silence of an empty room after everyone has left. It is the silence of a shell that no longer carries the sound of the sea. It is a vacuum, a progressive emptying where the music of your own life seems to have faded, leaving only a hollow, constant hum in its place. You feel it at the end of the day, when all the distractions fall silent, and you are left alone with this stillness that does not soothe, but rather unsettles. This silence is the purest symptom of a deep dissonance between your soul and the roles you have been playing. Your vital energy, your life force, is being drained not by overwork, but by the excess of emptiness in your actions. You may be an extremely productive person, fulfill all your obligations, move through the world with a mask of competence, but every step taken outside of your inner truth digs this well of silence a little deeper. It is a depletion of the soul, which happens when your daily routine, even if it seems full of activities, offers no real nourishment to your spirit. Confusing this disconnection with calmness is one of the most dangerous deceptions for a soul seeking to awaken, as it is like confusing numbness with the absence of pain. An ancient wisdom, guarded in the heart of Hermeticism, teaches us through the principle of vibration that nothing in this universe is truly still. Everything moves, everything vibrates. Your joy has a vibration. Your sadness has a vibration. Even peace has a high and subtle frequency. This dead silence that you feel, therefore, is not an absence of sound. It is an absence of vibration. It is the sign that your vital energy is becoming stagnant, inert. The question that your soul whispers to you in this silence is not, "What is wrong with me?" Zrenia, but a much deeper question. Has my song stopped playing? Has my inner vibration ceased? To begin to decipher the hidden message in this stillness, perhaps the way is not to try to fill it with more noise, but to listen to it in a different way. Consider the possibility of starting a symbolic journal. At the end of the day, instead of writing about what happened, sit with this feeling of emptiness and ask it directly, as if it were an entity. What are you trying to show me? Do not expect an answer in words. Just observe what your intuition offers you. Perhaps a color will appear, like a heavy gray or a deep blue. Perhaps an image, like a leafless tree or a road that leads nowhere. Or perhaps a single word, like glass, dust, or weight. Just write down the symbol without judging or analyzing it. This is the first step to learning the language of your soul, transforming the silence from a prison into a gateway. Your soul communicates with you in a language much older than words. It speaks through images, through symbols, through echoes that it projects both on the screen of your dreams and on the canvas of your daily reality. You have certainly felt this. It is that animal that seems to cross your path at crucial moments. It is that specific number that appears on the clock, on a license plate, on an invoice, with a frequency that defies probability. It is a geometric shape, a word, a melody that seems to gently follow you. Your logical mind, trained to find rational explanations, rushes to call it a coincidence, a simple casualty. But your body feels the truth. There is a shiver, an inner pause, a silent recognition that it means something. Modern science even has a name for a part of this phenomenon, describing how our brain filters reality to show us what we are focused on. But the spiritual perspective is deeper. It is your soul that is programming that filter. It is using your own mind and the events of the world to send you postcards, to leave you clues. To ignore these repeated echoes as mere chance is like ignoring the sound of someone gently knocking on your door, day after day. It is the language of the Akashic field, the vast ocean of cosmic memory, which uses these symbolic cycles to try to reactivate in you spiritual memories that have been lost or forgotten. Think of these symbols not as random events, but as a lighthouse flashing in the fog of your amnesia, trying to guide you back to a shore you once knew. A way to honor and begin to dialogue with these echoes is to create a symbolic mirror for yourself. It is a simple gesture, a ritual of listening. On a sheet of paper, perhaps in a special notebook, you can draw a line down the middle. On one side, describe the recurring symbol with all simplicity. For example, a blue bird perched on my window, or the number 44. On the other side, immediately after the event, write down the first emotion or thought you felt, without filter, without analysis. Was it a feeling of peace, a tightness in your chest, a word like continue or wait. There are no right or wrong answers. The goal is not to interpret with the mind, but to register the resonance in the body and in the heart. Over time, as you look at this mirror, the pattern will reveal itself to you, and the message behind the echo will become clear. Ancient traditions say that when a symbol presents itself to you 3 times in a clear and significant way, it is an invitation from the universe for a mindful pause. It is a loving yet firm sign that something in your journey, perhaps a belief that limits you, a decision you are postponing, or a path you are afraid to follow, is locked or asking to be looked at with more depth. It is not a warning of danger, but a call to consciousness. It is your soul telling you, through the language of the cosmos, look here. There is something important that you need to see. There is another subtle experience that your soul uses to communicate with you, and this one manifests itself through your heart. It happens in those moments when a wave of emotion invades you, a wave so powerful that it seems completely disproportionate to the situation. It is the sudden and deep crying that assails you in the middle of a song that had never moved you before. It is that intense anger or that icy paralysis that overcomes you in the face of a banal comment from another person. Your mind panics, tries to find a logic, a reason, and when it doesn't find one, it judges you for being too sensitive or dramatic. But this is the language of the soul overflowing, forcing its way through the cracks of your rational dam. Jung's perspective saw these emotional outbursts as the psyche desperately trying to break through the veil of control and logical thought. It is the soul saying, I need to be felt even if you don't understand me. But we can go even deeper. When you are in a state of vibrational misalignment, your energy field becomes more porous, more permeable to frequencies that are not necessarily yours. That overwhelming sadness may be the echo of an ancestral pain that you carry in your lineage. That sudden anger may be the memory of an injustice from another journey of your soul. You become a channel for emotions that belong to the vast ocean of the Akasha, and they come to the surface to be seen and released through you. These moments are a hidden sign of immense importance. They reveal that you are at a spiritual crossroads, a turning point in your path. Your body and your energy field, which are much wiser and more ancient than your conscious mind, recognize the magnitude of this moment and react to it, even if you don't yet know what is happening. It is like the thunder that roars in the sky long before the lightning of consciousness illuminates the landscape and shows you what it is heralding. The emotion comes first, like an omen, preparing the ground for a revelation that is to come. It is not the problem, it is the messenger of the main event. In those moments when the emotional wave invades you, instead of fighting against it or drowning in it, perhaps there is a space for a silent and compassionate question. A moment to stop, take a deep breath, and gently ask your heart, is this emotion I feel entirely mine? Or is it an energetic memory visiting me to be healed and released? There is no need for an immediate answer. The very act of asking creates a space for observation. It allows you to be the witness of the emotion rather than its prisoner. It is a powerful step to begin to discern between what belongs to your present self and what are the echoes of other eras passing through you, asking only for a moment of your conscious recognition so that they can, finally, go on their way. This sign is perhaps the most subtle and treacherous of all. because it masquerades as intuition. It is that magnetic, almost inexplicable fascination that you feel for certain people, certain places, or even certain ideas, which in the end consistently leave you with a feeling of exhaustion. It is that friendship, that relationship, or that project that seems incredibly exciting and full of promise at first, but that over time drains your vital energy, leaving you confused, anxious, and emptier than before. Your mind doesn't understand because the attraction seems so strong, so right. It creates stories to justify the connection, calling it soulmate, passion, or life mission. What is happening here is one of the most common traps on the spiritual path. Our energy field, especially when it is in misalignment, has a tendency to confuse the frequency of familiarity with the frequency of alignment. If you carry the wounds of old traumas from this or other lives, your energy recognizes the vibration of those same wounds in another person or situation. And that recognition is so deep, so visceral, that the brain interprets it as a feeling of belonging or coming home. But you are not coming home. You are returning to the site of your original wound. It is the soul's repetition compulsion, trying to heal an old pattern, drawing you back to the scene of the energetic crime, over and over again. An ancient law of hermetic wisdom, the principle of polarity, teaches that everything has its opposite, and that opposites are just two extremes of the same thing. The force of attraction also has its two poles. There is the attraction that expands, that nourishes you, that makes you feel more alive, more creative, more yourself. This is the guidance of the soul. And there is the attraction that contracts, that confuses you, that drains and diminishes you, even if it is exciting. This is the seduction of the ego, the echo of an unhealed trauma. The great lesson here is that not every strong attraction is a green light from the universe. Some are an invitation to look within and heal the wound that is generating that magnetism. To begin to discern between these two poles, perhaps the invitation is to become an observer of your own energetic rebound. Instead of evaluating the connection in the heat of the moment, when the fascination is strongest, take a step back. Allow yourself to feel the aftermath. Observe how your body and your energy feel 12 or 24 hours after the interaction with that person or situation. Do you feel recharged, inspired, and with a serene clarity? Or do you feel exhausted, anxious, with a mental fog and a feeling of heaviness? Your energetic body does not lie. The energetic rebound is your most honest truth. It will clearly show you whether the attraction you felt was food for your soul or poison for your spirit. Attraction that is not accompanied by genuine inner expansion is not guidance, it is distraction. The last sign is one of the most disconcerting, as it lives like an undercurrent in your daily life. It is a silent restlessness, a persistent feeling that you are late, that you have missed something crucial, but without being able to name what. It is a subtle panic that arises in moments of stillness, the feeling that time is slipping through your fingers and that you are not where you should be, even if you have no idea where that place is. Your mind tries to rationalize this feeling, blaming procrastination, lack of productivity, or unachieved goals. But this temporal anxiety is much deeper than any to-do list. Our soul does not experience time as a straight line that goes from the past to the future. It perceives it as a spiral, a field of potentialities where the future casts echoes into the present. that feeling of urgency that haunts you, is, in fact, one of those echoes. It is your soul feeling the growing distance between the timeline you are currently on and your sacred timeline, the one that was designed by your highest intention. You are not late for a meeting or a deadline. You are feeling the pain of your own soul, realizing that a meeting set with yourself, a fundamental event of consciousness for your evolution, is being postponed. The ancient Egyptian traditions tell that the great master Thoth, the scribe of the gods, measured time not in hours or days, but in events of consciousness. For him, time only truly advanced when a learning, a healing, an expansion occurred. When consciousness remained stagnant, time became a repetitive cycle, a prison. Your feeling of being left behind is your inner Thoth telling you that you are trapped in one of these cycles, reliving the same lessons, while your soul longs for a new event of consciousness, so that time can finally advance in a significant way. What you call procrastination is often the paralysis of your soul, which refuses to take another step in the wrong direction. To begin to recalibrate your inner clock with the time of your soul, there is an ancient breath, a rhythm that can help you recenter yourself. It is a ritual that can be practiced in moments of great temporal anxiety. Sitting in silence, you can breathe in the air, counting slowly to 7. Hold the air in your lungs for another count of 7. Exhale gently, counting to 7. And remain in the emptiness without air for a final count of 7. Repeating this cycle a few times while visualizing a golden line of light connecting your heart to the center of your head can help you realign your vibrational intention with your higher perception. It is an act of stopping the world's time in order to listen, if only for an instant, to the eternal and patient rhythm of your own spirit. As you can feel now, these 5 signs, the dead silence, the symbolic echoes, the overflowing emotions, the fascination that drains, and the urgency of time, are not isolated events or problems to be solved. They are facets of one and the same communication. They are the pulses of your soul. The soul does not leave you maps with clear and logical instructions. It does not speak the language of the mind. It sends vibrational pulses, signals that are designed to be felt in the body, in the heart, in the energy, long before they can be understood. They are an invitation for you to stop trying to navigate your life with your mind and start feeling it with the totality of your being. The legends of Thoth, the master of wisdom, tell that the great decline of Atlantis did not begin with the earthquake or the flood that submerged it in the ocean. The external cataclysm was just the final reflection of a collapse that happened first internally. The fall began on the day that its inhabitants forgot to listen to their inner connection, when they traded the wisdom of the heart for the arrogance of the mind and lost tune with the great pattern of the universe. They forgot to feel the pulses. Your personal story is no different. The chaos and the feeling of being lost that you may feel in your external world are often just a faithful mirror of the inner convocation that has been ignored. This is the purest application of the Hermetic law. As above, so below. As within, so without. The signs are not danger alerts. They are sacred invitations, loving calls for you to remember that you are an essential part of this cosmic pattern, and not a loose and defective piece. Each sign is an opportunity to realign your outer life with the truth of your inner world. It is an invitation to return home. Perhaps to anchor this consciousness, you can choose one of these 5 signs. the one that touched you the most, the one that echoed the most in your being during this journey of ours. Not to judge it, not to try to fix it, but just to honor it. For the next 7 days, observe it with the curiosity of a child and the compassion of a sage. Just notice how it manifests in your thoughts, in your emotions, in your decisions. This simple act of conscious observation is one of the most powerful ways of saying to your soul, I am listening. Finally, I am paying attention. Always remember this. Feeling lost can be the beginning of your true initiation. It is the sacred turning point where you, finally, stop being found by the systems of the world that tried to erase you, so that you can finally be found by yourself. If this journey has resonated with your spirit, leave a silent acknowledgement in the comments, a statement not for the world, but for your own soul. To continue on this journey of remembrance and awakening, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and like this video. If you are still here, perhaps you were never lost. You were just remembering the way back.